guys, it's Nicole. I'm back with another video, and today is going to be about the, I don't want to say drama because that kind of feels like I'm downplaying it, but the feud that seems to be still going on between Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni. If my voice sounds a little weird or I'm talking a little quietly, I'm starting to get a cold or something, so I apologize in advance for sounding a little bit, and I may be drinking water while I'm doing this. But I wanted to make this video, and I think it's important to talk about, and I don't want anyone to think that I'm downplaying anything or dismissing anything. You know, I like to make videos about things that are happening to celebrities in the public eye, because I think there's a lot of people that tend to cast judgment really quickly without knowing everything, especially with everything that we hear on the internet. Because if there's anything I've learned just being, kind of growing up in my later years, having the internet around, is that there's just no sense of context anymore. We hear things that people say, and then it may sound absolutely crazy, and then it's like, wait, but that was so taken out of context. And I think that's why I like making these videos. They may not necessarily always be the lighthearted videos that I like to do. I like to do some lighthearted things every now and then too. But this is a particular case that I really think I wanted to bring up, because I don't know about anyone else, but most of the press and news I heard about the Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni feud kind of seemed to side with him. And that automatically raises red flags to me, just because of the history. I know that women in the public eye tend to be dismissed. And even without knowing what was going on, I wanted to approach this with more so an unbiased perspective, because who knows what really happened. What I have found is kind of a timeline of what the public knows about their feud, but again, that's what we know. We don't know what actually happened on the set and of their movie It Ends With Us. That's in case anyone doesn't know what I'm talking about. Justin Baldoni directed and starred in a movie that came out last year. It was based on a book called It Ends With Us, and Blake Lively also starred in it. They were co-stars. And there's been a feud of allegations on both sides, and that's where it all started. So we weren't there on the set. We don't know for sure, and there were people on the set there, and maybe they have a story too. It's hard to say. But this is what I found, kind of detailing what we as the public have heard as what we have access to in terms of this feud. So this article is from Independent. It's like a news website. I'll put the link in the description. And basically it starts with detailing that Blake Lively, she plays Lily Bloom, which is the main character in the movie, and Justin Baldoni, who directed in the film and also plays Ryle Kincaid. I almost misread that because it's spelled like Kyle, but instead of a K, it's an R. That really threw me. So it seems to appear that we as the public became aware of this feud when Blake Lively sued her It Ends With Us co-star Justin Baldoni for sexual harassment and a campaign to destroy her reputation months after the release of their box office hit. Rumors of an on-set feud had been percolating online as the pair appeared to avoid each other during the film's promotional tour. Lively was called out for a tone-deaf approach to the movie, as some felt she failed to treat its heavy subject matter with the appropriate solemnity. Such a weird word. Solemn, but it's a verb. However, the lawsuit also alleges that fan backlash was part of a carefully orchestrated effort by Baldoni's PR team, whose lawyers have counter-alleged that Lively's lawsuit is likewise an attempt to fix her negative reputation. Baldoni is a married father of 2 and has positioned himself as an avid supporter of women's rights, adding further fuel to the controversy. He has since had an award for being an ally to women rescinded. So that's kind of the general overview of what the feud is about. Now, a lot of these are circumstantial, it sounds like. Blake Lively's lawsuit, other than the harassment, she is alleging that there was a PR team on Justin Baldoni's side that made a campaign to destroy her reputation, including the fan backlash that she received. So that's very hard to prove unless they find like the team that was, putting things out there on the internet to kind of stoke the flames of that kind of thing. And I do have to admit, I remember seeing articles online of detailing how many people were upset with Blake Lively for her seemingly not appropriate promotions during the movie tour. So for anyone who doesn't know anything about the movie or the book, I have not seen or read either, but I've read the description, online of what the movie and the book are about. And essentially, Blake Lively plays a domestic violence survivor, basically. Justin Baldoni plays her husband, who turns out to be abusive, and, she plays the victim. I don't want to say victim, but, she plays the domestic violence survivor. And obviously this is a very difficult topic to talk about. It's obviously horrible for anyone who's experienced any type of domestic violence. And there's a reason that movies and books and other kinds of art are made detailing these kinds of experiences. Because those of us who haven't been in them may not realize what it's actually like. And even though this is just an artistic interpretation of what it actually is, I think it can still be good. I think that one of the reasons it can be good is maybe there's a lot of victim blaming. Well, why didn't you leave him? Why did you stay? And I think that's why these perspectives, these different forms of art detailing what it could actually be like, is important. So I agree with the message of the movie. I agree with how that goes. Personally, I went and looked myself on what exactly it was that people were upset at Blake Lively for. Because it didn't really make sense to me. I wasn't really sure why they were upset. Not an appropriate response to promoting the movie. I didn't understand what that meant. And what I found is also a little bit in this article, but essentially what it seems like is people... Okay, here we go. This is August last year. Lively, known for her upbeat demeanor and comedic rapport with husband Ryan Reynolds, begins to face backlash, this was in August, online for a tone-deaf approach to the movie's marketing. Criticism focused on Lively's promoting her new hair care line during her movie tour, encouraging cinemagoers to bring their florals, in an echo of the wear pink trend around Barbie last year, and for avoiding explicit Sorry, I'm tired and getting sick. And for avoiding explicit mention of domestic violence. Hundreds of social media critics flooded Lively's comments, suggesting that she had misread the room. Commercial tie-ins promoting the film have also raised eyebrows, including the actors' themed cocktails. One is called Rile You Wait and is named after a character in the film who throws Bloom down the stairs. Following the criticism, Lively shared a message to her Instagram stories on Tuesday, August 13th, writing, 1 in 4 women aged 18 and older in the U.S. alone have been the victim of severe physical violence by an intimate partner in their lifetime. So that's what it seems like is the general overview of what people, when I say people, I mean the critics, the online I hate to use social justice warriors because that can sometimes be a good thing and sometimes be a bad thing, but let's just say the people that were attacking her online. This is possibly going to be an unpopular opinion, and if you disagree with me, totally fine. Your prerogative. I don't really see her being tone deaf in this situation. To me, her approach to the movie marketing was more so focused on the fact that her character is a very strong woman who got through this immensely horrific experience in her life and still has other things to her life. She's not just the victim that experienced domestic violence. She is so much more than what happened to her. And that's how I see it. And maybe you may disagree. That's totally fine. Try not to be too harsh if you disagree with me, because I feel like that's a little bit unnecessary. We can all disagree on things. But to me, encouraging cinema goers to bring their florals in an echo of the wear pink trend around Barbie last year, to me feels like a way to get people to go to the movies, to bring up this trend of going to see a movie and dressing up for it, like how big the Barbie event was. That was huge. The Barbenheimer Summer, that was a gigantic marketing thing, and it worked. So to me, this is kind of, like they even said, an echo of that. And I don't necessarily think that's wrong of her to do. You know, I think the reason she said bring florals is I read that in the movie, she's a florist. She owns a florist shop. So it's connected to her character. It's not random. Promoting her new hair care line during the movie tour. I think a lot of people promote their things when they do movie tours other than just their movies. I don't know that for sure. I can't really say that promoting something else while promoting a movie, regardless of the content, is bad. I mean, if she was just saying to do something else instead of watching the movie and understanding what the movie was about, yeah, I could see a problem with that. But personally, I don't see a problem with that. If anything, those who are interested in her hair care line would see the movie and then go see it, which makes sense to do because you're marketing a movie. So is it possible that that's a little tone deaf? I also think so. I also could see why people would see that as tone deaf. You know, when you're talking about any kind of really complicated, dark topic, especially like domestic violence, it's hard to say what exactly is appropriate and what is not. I mean, there's obvious instances, you know, like it's not appropriate to joke about it. It's not appropriate to bring it up and in that bringing it up, make light of it like it's not real. Those are definitely examples of things that are absolutely, obviously not okay. But when it comes to smaller things, promoting the movie in ways that make sense to you, I don't really see that being tone deaf. You know, and we don't know Blake Lively's personal life. We don't know if she's ever experienced any type of abuse or domestic violence in her life, so we don't know her personal background in this, where she may be coming from. Maybe she's never experienced it at all. We don't know. And that's my point, is that people seem to be going after her as if they're assuming she's never experienced anything horrible in her life, and as if she's doing something that's downplaying the incredibly sensitive topic surrounding the movie. So I take issue with that. I really do. Here's the other thing. Criticism also focused on avoiding explicit mention of domestic violence. That's a tricky one because I can see where people might find that strange. That's what the movie's about, right? The movie centers around the fact that she falls in love with this man, gets married, and they're super close, and then he, you know, turns out not to be the man that she originally thought he was. And yes, it is normal to expect that to be at least the main topic of interviews and talking about the movie itself. But it also doesn't scream tone deaf to me. It's strange, I will admit that, because if you're promoting a movie for the very sensitive topic that it contains, because you care about the topic, you want people to go see the movie and to realize, you know, how big this topic is, then it makes sense to talk about it. But it also makes sense to me to not talk about it because, like I said before, talking about bringing the florals, talking about, you know, avoiding it and encouraging moviegoers to go to the movie kind of still makes sense to me in the she is more than just a domestic violence victim. She is a human that experienced something horrific and she made it through. And that's what we need to focus on. So I see both. I see where she could have been coming from, and I also see why people were really tone deaf about it. Saying that she was really tone deaf about it, excuse me. However, the amount of backlash I saw toward her about that kind of did feel disproportionate to how big it really was. And again, it's very easy for commenters online to have their flames stoked. That's why you see so many negative comments these days. It's just very easy for people to just feed off of each other, and the flames of the controversy and people's anger towards it kind of tend to get bigger, even if the thing itself isn't that huge. Because this is a big topic, it is. But at the same time, the amount of, honestly, hate that she received did not feel proportionate, because she did not go out and say she doesn't believe domestic violence survivors, she doesn't do this. She promoted the movie in the way that she thought was best. To me, at worst, she should have been given a, why didn't you do this differently? Why didn't you talk about the actual topic? Simple questions, simple, this, but there were so many. I remember clicking on articles and seeing comments below them and going, these people are really tearing Blake Lively apart just because of what they're assuming is tone deaf. Almost like they're assuming she doesn't care about the topic the movie's about. So it does seem possible to me that there was a PR team kind of behind it in the background, stoking the flames and making people even more angry towards her. Here's my thing. It's also very fishy to me that a man who is known for advocating for women's rights is somehow being hailed as a hero and looked upon in this amazingly brilliant white angelic light, and a woman is being torn down from this alone, because this is what people were angry about. And yes, if you're thinking this is not enough to be angry about, I think you're correct. So it's a little fishy to me. Look, the first part of the suit where Blake Lively alleges that there was sexual harassment, I believe her. You can hate that opinion of mine, you can disagree with me, but I believe her. Does that mean he deserves to lose his job, lose his career, lose everything? No. I think it just means holding people accountable for their actions. That's what I believe. So covering all of that, I kind of want to go into a little bit of the timeline here, just in case anyone is a little bit confused about it, keeps hearing snippets here and there and are like, I don't know, I just hear a little bit. I don't know what's actually happening. So this timeline, I'm just going to go through it kind of as like a general overhaul because I don't want to bore everyone with every single detail. And you can look it up online yourself. But I figured we'd talk about it a little bit. So originally the movie was cast and announced in January 2023. They were announced that Lively was cast as the lead, with Baldoni starring alongside her, and the author of the book was extremely happy that those were the people that were going to portray the characters she wrote. So then it was released, the movie It Ends With Us was released August 9th, 2024, so last year, with Baldoni praising Lively as strong, funny, and intelligent, all the things you want from a female heroine. He added, "There wasn't a part of this production that she didn't touch and have an influence on, and everything she put her hands on and her mind to, she made better." So, then, not much later, August 13th, feud rumors circulate as Lively and Baldoni avoid each other, and then the director, which is Justin Baldoni, hires Johnny Depp's crisis management PR firm. Rumors of a feud start circulating on social media as Baldoni and Lively avoid each other during the film's promotion. Internet sleuths notice that the stars do not follow each other on social media, with many of the film's cast following Lively but not Baldoni. Hoover also notably keeps her distance from Baldoni. TMZ alleged that the cause of the rife was a result of fat-shaming, inappropriate comments, and Baldoni kissing for too long during scenes. There had also been rumors online that the rift had been caused by Lively and her Deadpool and Wolverine husband, Ryan Reynolds, being too involved with the film. Baldoni hires crisis management and PR professional Melissa Nathan, whose previous clients include Johnny Depp, Drake, and Travis Scott, according to Deadline. Nathan represented Depp during his successful defamation trial against Amber Heard, which occurred during rumors of an organized social media campaign against her. August 15th is when Lively was faced for backlash for the tone-deaf marketing. I think that's a very important thing to note, is that he hired a professional PR marketing team once it seemed to be that there were circulating rumors that there was a feud going on between them. I think that's a very important thing, and I don't think a lot of people recognize that. That was when the tone-deaf comments came out. Then, this is in August 15th, an interview with journalist, I'm so sorry, I don't know how to pronounce this name, so I'm not going to try because I don't want to offend. But there was an interview with a journalist. You can look it up in the article. As soon as I post this, you'll see it in the description. This is the article. It's an interview that resurfaced. So this is not a new interview. Amid the criticism surrounding Lively, a Norwegian journalist posted a clip of a 2016 interview. 2016, that's a long time ago. With the actor, which made her want to quit her job. The sit-down was in promotion of Lively's film Cafe Society, directed by Woody Allen. Lively was accompanied by her co-star Parker Posey. Sharing the clip to YouTube, it looks like Fla is this journalist's last name. I'm so sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. I don't know how to pronounce Norwegian names. Titled the video, "The Blake Lively Interview That Made Me Want to Quit My Job." Fla began the interview by congratulating the actor on her little bump, after which Lively sarcastically responded, "Congrats on your little bump." Speaking about the film, the journalist said she found it visually amazing and asked whether Lively and Posey enjoyed the fashion, which played a big role in a film set in the 1930s. Lively is then seen ignoring Fla and instead turns to Posey to say, "Everyone wants to talk about the clothes, but I wonder if they would ask the men about the clothes." I kind of have to agree with Blake Lively on this one. It sounds like this journalist was asking about a baby bump, which, rude. I don't know, I just find that to be a little rude. Don't comment on people's bodies. And I think it's a very valid point that Blake Lively said, yeah, do you usually see men asked about the clothes in a movie? What about literally everything else that happens in the movie? You want me to talk about the clothes? I kind of agree with that. However, I think Blake Lively could have handled that better. It seems as though she ignored the journalist. I feel like she could have turned to the journalist and said, I personally don't want to talk about the clothing. Let's talk about something else. I agree she could have handled that better. But I don't think she's a horrible person based off this interview. Also, the fact that this interview resurfaced after 2016 to 2024, 8 years? I don't know, kind of feels like a smear campaign to me. And I'm trying to remain unbiased, but that does seem fishy. Then, December 9th, Baldoni is awarded at the Vital Voices event celebrating men who elevate women. Baldoni was awarded a 2024 Voices of Solidarity Award from Vital Voices, a nonprofit organization dedicated to ending sexual and domestic violence. The star-studded event was dedicated to celebrating men who elevate women, combat gender-based violence, and promote gender equality worldwide. Don't get me started on that. December 21st, Lively files the lawsuit against Baldoni alleging sexual harassment. In the lawsuit obtained by TMZ, Lively claims Baldoni exhibited behavior that caused her severe emotional distress. The lawsuit states that there was a meeting attended by individuals including Lively, her husband Ryan Reynolds, Baldoni, and their lawyers to address the Age of Adeline star's claims. Lively had a number of requirements in order for her to work on the film that, according to the lawsuit cited by the outlet, included no more showing nude videos or images of women to Blake, no more mention of Baldoni's alleged previous pornography addiction, no more discussions about sexual conquests in front of Blake and others, no further mentions of cast and crew's genitalia, no more inquiries about Blake's weight, and no further mention of Blake's dead father. To me, that means these are all things that were brought up during the filming of the movie that she had to go through. Yeah. I don't blame her for being upset, because all of that combined would upset me. Just one of those would upset me. Wow. Additionally, no more adding of sex scenes, oral or on camera, climaxing by BL outside the scope of the script. BL approved when signing on to the project. Blake Lively as BL. Were other requirements included in the lawsuit. So it sounds like Justin Baldoni was adding in more sex scenes as the director, and they were not approved in the script. He was doing it on the fly. Per the outlet, the lawsuit says that the distributors of the film, Sony Pictures, approved Lively's requests. However, the actor claims in the filing that Baldoni then began a campaign to destroy her reputation in response. Baldoni's lawyer, Brian Freeman, told TMZ that Lively's lawsuit had been filed in order to fix her negative reputation. He added to the outlet that A Simple Favor star's allegations are false, outrageous, and intentionally salacious with an intent to publicly hurt. The lawyer added that Lively had caused issues on the film set by threatening to not show up to set, threatening to not promote the film, ultimately leading to its demise during release. I'm sorry, but if you're going to treat me like, excuse my language, shit on any kind of work set, I will also threaten to not show up and to not promote the film. Because it sounds like she went after him for after everything that he did during their time on the film set. And it sounds like she was doing her best to promote the film in the ways that she felt were good. And it sounds like he got really upset about her dragging his name through the mud, though it sounds like it's warranted. So he decided to just completely destroy her name. That's kind of what it sounds like to me, based on the times of when these lawsuits came out. December 22nd, the New York Times investigation alleges PR campaign orchestrated to bury Lively. Private messages obtained by the New York Times appear to show an intentional attempt to bury Lively. The battle over creative control was pitched as an idea for talking points during the press campaign, but Baldoni is said to have wanted more, as he said, "Not sure I'm feeling the protection I felt on the call," following a conversation according to the report. "You know we can bury anyone. Baldoni's PR, Nathan, is alleged to have said, per the New York Times. Baldoni is said to have sent examples of a viral social media thread accusing another celebrity of bullying, writing, "This is what we would need." The Times alleged Ms. Nathan soon floated proposals to hire contractors to dominate social media through full social account takedowns by starting threads of theories and generally working to change narrative. All of this will be most importantly untraceable, she wrote. When approached by the Times, Flaw denies she was involved in an organized smear campaign against Lively. That's the journalist that resurfaced the interview from 2016. Addressing the situation in a new YouTube video, Flaw said that she would never take money to jeopardize my integrity as a journalist. Still suspicious to me that it came up 8 years later. December 22nd, Baldoni is dropped by his talent agency. December 23rd, Hollywood stars come out in support of Lively, including America Ferrera, Gwyneth Paltrow, Amy Schumer, Paul Feig, and her sister as well, Robin Lively. Then, December 23rd, Baldoni's lawyers respond to sexual harassment lawsuit. Audiences found Lively's own actions, interviews, and marketing during the promotional tour distasteful and responded organically to that which the media themselves picked up on. He defended the PR company involved, saying Tag PR operated as any other crisis management firm would when hired by a client experiencing threats by two extremely powerful people with unlimited resources. December 24th, Baldoni has his award for being an ally to women rescinded. Then, December 24th, Lively and Baldoni's It Ends With Us co-star addresses lawsuit claims. Brandon Sklenar, who plays Lively's teenage love interest in It Ends With Us, I'm guessing shared a link to her lawsuit and captioning the Instagram post, "For the love of God, read this," adding a heart emoji while also tagging Lively. So it sounds like he comes out in support of Lively there. December 24th, Baldoni's podcast co-host leaves the show amid lawsuit. December 25th, Baldoni's former publicist sues him over breach of contract. Stephanie Jones, I didn't know there was an extra lawsuit. I read most of this, but I hadn't got to the bottom yet. Stephanie Jones files a lawsuit against Baldoni for breach of contract, linking her dismissal to the alleged smear campaign against Baldoni's It Ends With Us co-star Blake Lively. Interesting. January 1st is when Baldoni sued the New York Times for claiming Ryan Reynolds aggressively berated him. Baldoni and 9 other plaintiffs, including publicists Melissa Nathan and Jennifer Abel, brought a $250 million lawsuit against the newspaper alleging libel and false light invasion of privacy. The suit, which has been seen by The Independent, was filed in Los Angeles Superior Court and claims that the Times reporting cherry-picked and altered communications stripped of necessary context and deliberately spliced to mislead. I wonder if that's true. Because you never know. Like I've said about context before. He claims he was aggressively berated by Reynolds after Baldoni, who suffers from back problems, asked Lively how much she weighed before he lifted her to ensure he could safely perform the lift without injury. January 1st is also the same day when Lively officially sued Baldoni, and then January 2nd is when New York Times and Baldoni's lawyers respond. In a statement to The Independent, a New York Times spokesperson said, "The role of an independent news organization is to follow the facts where they lead. Our story was meticulously and responsibly reported. It was based on a review of thousands of pages of original documents, including the text messages and emails that we quote accurately and at length in the article. To date, Wayfarer Studios, Mr. Baldoni, the other subjects of the article, and the representatives have not pointed to a single error. We published their full statement and response to the allegations in the article as well. We plan to vigorously defend against the lawsuit." There's a lot of other details there that if you're interested, you can go read for yourself. But That's essentially the timeline for what's been going on between the two of them. It's so hard to say what's real and what's kind of fake. All I can say is I believe Blake Lively in her allegations and her now suit against him for sexual harassment. The PR campaign, we'll see. The New York Times does say that they combed through it meticulously and presented the evidence as facts and did not leave out context, but Baldoni's team alleges otherwise. I tend to believe news organizations more than individuals because individuals can claim anything. News agencies, usually, not always, have morals and ethics to protect by reporting on the facts. So at the moment, it appears as though Justin Baldoni hired a PR team to take down Blake Lively on social media so that she wouldn't be believed if she came out with anything else. That is what it appears to be. We will learn more, I'm sure, as time goes on. What I hope anyone watching this takes away from this, which if you watched all the way through, I really appreciate you and thank you so much. I really hope people can take away that there's always so much more to any case that you can ever imagine. A case like this, even one on a smaller scale, there's always more than you can imagine. And there's a lot that goes on behind closed doors that we will never know. And all I'm saying is try not to post horrible comments about people online, even if they're famous people and maybe won't see it. Maybe they will. It's just not helpful. This is a difficult lawsuit as it is, and we don't know where it's going to go. The best we can do as people is talk about this amongst ourselves and not spread horrible negative rumors online. Everything I said in this video is according to what has been publicly announced and said and more or less proved, other than the things that are obviously allegations that we cannot know for sure. So be careful. Don't believe everything you read right away. Don't jump to conclusions before you know anything and then post something horrible and negative. Don't post something horrible and negative anyway. Let's just put it that way. I think the only way to improve any kind of standards on the internet is to start with the individuals. Pay attention, and if you have nothing nice to say nothing at all. It's an old one, but a good one, I think. And I think a lot of people need to relearn that. So if you watched all the way through, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I love making videos about celebrity content and different pop culture topics. If you like that kind of stuff, subscribe to my channel. You'll get notifications. I post every Friday morning. And like this video so that I know you liked it. Comment if you have other opinions. If you disagree with me, totally fine. We're allowed to disagree on things. That's how humans work. And if you're interested in following me on social media, I post a little bit about my channel and just about myself. You can follow me at Nicole Calvé Prescott. I will put it in the description below because a lot of people have trouble spelling my middle name. And that is all. I will see you all next